with your album Cartwheel, is there any NuMetal influence?
I would say yes. You know, as you guys know pretty well, and as I'm sure you've talked about, like it's historically kind of a dirty word, dirty phrase. Like people are kind of ashamed of it. Um, I'm not. I still listen to NuMetal all the time, like monthly basis, if not more, and that's what I grew up on. So I'm not embarrassed about it, but I think it's still going to take a few more years for like you know mainstream music publications to non-ironically assign that to new like serious bands or whatever.
Well, I think this summer is going to be a big sea change with Limp Bizkit's Loserville tour.
Well, a few people texted me as soon as those dates dropped, including our booking agent. Quick story: right before this tour, I was in New York, and like Third Man has kind of put up these new posters for the Cartwheel campaign, like all around town. And I was in the UK when those went up, so I was getting people texting me in New York like, "Dude, there's Cartwheel posters everywhere." And I was like, "Oh, they're not going to be there by the time I get home." But as fate would have it, I had to change my plans, and I came home earlier than I thought. And I was like, "Oh, maybe I can get them right before they take them down." So I went down to Manhattan, this one location I knew they were at, which was John's of 12th Street. There was posters up there, and I was like, I was by myself, and I was like, I gotta get a picture with the Cartwheel posters before they go down. So I just asked this guy who was walking by, and I was like, "Can you take a picture with me?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can take a picture." And I was like, I was being really corny. I was like, "Yeah, it's my band. It's not a big deal, you know." And he was like, "Oh, cool. My best friend's actually in a band. He's on tour right now." And I was like, "Oh, who's your best friend?" And he was like, "This guy Fred Durst." And I was like, "Shut up, dude." He said he was Fred's best friend, and he was like he just got off tour with them for a few days, but they're in Japan right now, whatever. And I was like, "Dude, please put Hotline on to Fred, please. You have no idea how big of a fan I am."
Wow, that's
He could have been
amazing. That's
he could have been
amazing.
capping, but for some reason I believed him. But,
Wow. Well, last I checked, Wes follows us on Instagram.
okay,
So we're gonna put this up, because we're just trying to listen. I talked to Wes on the phone for 5 minutes, and he was super nice back in
cool. I mean,
2017.
Wes is the reason I play guitar. Wes is the reason this album came out. He started it all for me. So
Listen,
yeah.
you put that in all the promo moving forward. You're like, listen, Jack White, thank you. I'm on your label, but let's talk about Wes.
Dude, I'm trying. I've been trying, but Third Man's like, "Don't talk about that." And I'm like, "Guys, we're gonna talk about it. Wes is the reason I'm here."
Roach Coach Podcast.